Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Uh, Manisha Saluja, madam, you are welcome in MERI Institute.
Thank you.
And because today our topic was finance seminar we were conducting on the topic of leveraging uh, leveraging finance innovation for investment planning. So, would you tell me first of all? I want to ask from you, like when the students do fintech. So, exactly what is the meaning of the fintech for the students?
Yeah. In today's world, finances has to be managed if you want to go to any stream. Manually, it's not possible because if we look for the market size, if we look for the population that we are going, it's very difficult to manage the manual things. There comes the technology into the picture. Started with 1800s and now we are on the fourth zone of technology where every single transaction is at ease, every single investment you can do just with a click. For example, if you talk about stock market, we have one fintech platform named as Angel Broking. Earlier said very well that for the IPO there were used to be a lines of hundreds of people, hundreds of documents to file for an IPO. But now you just can click and your IPO will be submitted. If you get the IPO, the shares will be allotted as per SEBI guidelines. And if not, within a day, your payment will be refunded. Earlier, it used to take the 45 to 60 days. Of course, this reduced the financial costs as well, financial burden on every individual as well.
So, madam, when we are talking about the fintech, like when we are adopting the traditional approach, so at that time, such kind of the fintech trading system was not in our India. But whenever we are talking about the fintech these times, because when we are talking about the students of the graduation and the post graduation, so after completion of the graduation, the post graduation, so it is being said that you must have the fintech knowledge. So, like you told about the stock market, fintech is using. So similarly, there will be so many financial companies. So, like you are working in a bank. So,
Yeah.
would you tell me what is the exact process for fintech for the students?
See, technology always comes with the ease. Technology comes where there is a trouble. And if it's reducing your trouble, technology is good to go and to be adaptable. If I'm working with a bank, HDFC at present, they have the best technology in the market where they have proper checks and balances, of course via digital mode only. If one person is giving applying for the loan at one location, we'll able to understand the entire history through the internal banking system. That is also a platform where we get the knowledge about that particular customer. It could be the personal record or professional record or any failures, any um, you would say any discrepancies. We are having handy informations about the payment check records. We are having handy information about the CIBIL. This all is being automated by the bank. So yeah, I personally believe it actually helps a lot of people in the chain to progress towards the main goal. If you're experienced in particular thing, just focus on that. Rest technology will take care of it.
Right. Saluja madam, tell me, like when we are talking about the artificial intelligence, there is a blockchain. When we are talking about the big data, actually many times we say that this is very important. Like for the our postgraduate students, they will have to learn about Python. They will have to learn about the SQL. They will have to learn about the artificial intelligence. So, would you tell me, like when we are going to correlate all these things with our fintech technology?
Yeah.
So, to what extent is it possible for our postgraduate students that it is easy to get the job?
Of course, we say that don't work hard, work smart. As a post graduation student, if they are very well versed with the technology, of course, market is ready to take at any cost because they need the employee which can add value to their business. And if we compare to the person who is into a traditional approach versus to a person who is really means tech oriented person, company will prefer the technology because it will help company for three major reasons. It will reduce the training cost of the particular employee. It will increase the productivity of the company. And third, If a company grows, every individual connected to that particular company grows. So
So, like when we discuss in our seminar, like when we are talking about the working capital management,
mm,
like the students are just going to study about the when we are talking about the receivable management, inventory management,
mm,
and debtor management.
mm.
So, to what extent you will say that when we are going to adopt the fintech technology, so how is it helpful to the students? So, in general.
See, Amazon is doing it, Flipkart is doing it. If you are not very well versed with the technology, suppose a businessman is not well versed with the
So,
technology,
what kind of a technology Amazon is adopting this time?
that's what I'm coming on to. You do not have that much knowledge, I would say, technology, and but you still want to run a business post completing your education. Amazon has created solution for every single problem, and that too at the ground level. You just send it to the Amazon center. We call it as a Amazon hub. You just give them the product. They do everything for you: inventory management, receivable management, and by the end of the day you'll be having growth in the business, personal and professional growth. Yeah, so things are improving with technology.
So it means you want to say that when we are talking about the fintech, I think that under the fintech, so there are so many services which are provided by the companies, like if the post graduation or the graduate students after qualifying their graduation, the post graduation, if they are going there, so they will get the handsome amount, and I think that if the students are learning all these things, that it will increase the salary also of the students,
Yeah, it impacts a lot.
right?
We call it as a one student passing without financial literacy and one passing with a financial literacy. It makes a lot of difference when a employer hires a particular employee.
So, madam, when we are talking about the management accounting, like when we will have to take the so many decisions regarding the standard costing, marginal cost, and other, there are the so many important tools when we are talking about the PV ratio, when you are studying the cash flow statement. So, I think that in market there is a trend that when the students after completion of the CA, after completion of the MBA, they will have to draft their report manually, and they will have to do so many compliances they will have to adopt. But what do you say that when fintech technology has come into the market, so is it possible that for the students it will facilitate the transactions?
Yeah, definitely. If you see the recent changes that is being done by the government as well, government realized that it is not too late to start. That's why there is a GST automation. Income tax is portal is being handy. Now person not required to go to a CA. If he is particularly financially literate, he can file his return. Everything is automated according to the laws and regulations, and government is taking an edge in that.
So, particularly for the graduation students, like for when we are talking about the post graduation students, is it when we are going to the market, like you discuss about the NPA, non performing assets, and there are so many things
Yeah.
in particularly in the field of the banks.
Hmm.
So, would you tell me, like when we are talking about the NPA, we are talking about the doubtful assets, sub
Yeah.
doubtful assets. So, to what extent it will help to the students, that what kind of software the student must learn regarding the fintech?
See, we can categorize into a industry specific or a general. First, student needs to be very clear in which industry he wants to go, because every single industry have their own fintech platforms according to their demands. We cannot say one suits all. That's why we have different startups. We have different fintech platforms. If you see for the stock market, Zerodha is there, Angel Broking is there, HDFC have their own securities platform, and all have their different platforms, right? So if student wants to go towards any particular industry, first he needs to decide, be financially literate in a general terms, like what's going around. It's not that if persons goes to get a job and he is not having any idea what is fintech and what all platforms he is using. Rest industry will take care of it. Industry can add on values to your learned principles, and there student gets an edge over the normal other students.
like when we are talking about the startup, because Prime Minister of India has just mentioned that if you want to start your business, that you can take the loan of up to rupees 50 lakh, and
Yes.
obviously there is no interest. I think that, so what is the strategy of the government? But I want to ask you, Ms. Saluja madam,
Hmm.
when we are talking about the fintech,
Hmm.
so is it any kind of the procedure in the government to take the loan of the 50 lakh? Like for example, after finishing the graduation, the post graduation, if the students want to start a startup, and they are needing money, so is it possible to take the loan of 50 lakh from the bank?
Yes, but let me correct here. The eligibility is not graduation or post graduation, because if we see for the literacy rate is not that high in rural areas. And what our respectable Prime Minister suggests, that we need to empower every single person in this country. So the minimum qualification is 8th standard only. You just need to be very clear with the vision. You has to be past experience of it. Suppose if I'm doing job with any poultry farm, right? Poultry farm would be the wrong example because it comes under negative category. If I want to work as a contractor, and earlier I worked with some contractor, I'm having a job experience, but I do not have money to start my own business. So government has a scheme, reach to any PSU bank or a private bank that is being signed, that this is my project, I have this experience, um, this will be my cost for plant and machinery, and this I'll be requiring for the working capital. Bank to bank varies. They assess the case and they provide funding to the individual. And the minimum requirement is that you should be eighth qualified.
So I want to ask you that there is any accounting standard regarding the financial fintech over fintech, or only like when we are talking about the IFRS, when we are talking about the accounting conventions.
Hmm.
So is it a Chartered Accountant Institute Act 1949 when we are talking about all these things? Is it any IFRS, or when we are talking about the accounting standard? Because the reason is that when we are talking about the sustainability, so it is very important that for the student they must learn about the fintech. So I think that, would you tell me about there is any accounting standard, the
See,
IFRS?
yeah. In particularly in technology sector, we government cannot leave it as an unregularized one. So the thing started with IT Act also, when actually technology took the boost of being into the any periphery in Information Technology Act, and thereafter, depending on that, in which company is there, or which industry is there, there are different accounting standard that is being issued by ICI. Yeah.
So when madam, Ms. Saluja madam, you discuss about the income tax. When we study the Income Tax Act 1961, I think that there are so many deductions and the exemptions. So when we are going to correlate the fintech technology regarding this, so would you tell me that is it facilitate the students or any in general to any common man, that when we are going to the market and when we are studying the Income Tax Act 1961, so I would you say that there is any correlation of the fintech with the Income Tax Act or the GST Act when we are talking?
Yeah. If we talk about layman, they cannot understand Income Tax Act because that's all legal, right? What fintech facility they are giving is customer friendly user face, customer friendly interface they are providing. As a layman, if you want to just file your return and you go to income tax site, you do not know what is ATC, you do not know what is ATD. You means आपको technical नहीं पता है. They have made process very easy via technology. It simply mentioned any tuition fees is being paid by you, which can be easily understood by a layman. So yeah, because technically government cannot help you out, help every single person, but yes, they made sure that it will be user friendly.
So basically, when we are talking about, because our finance seminar was on the leveraging of fintech technology in innovation planning. So I think that you want to say that when we are talking about the fintech, so it is the financial services which are provided by the companies or the bank. So whatever technology, this is a innovation in our India and in the global as well. So Thank you, Saluja madam, that you are a chartered accountant, because it is very important to all of us that you gave your precious, valuable time to us. And thank you for this.
Thank you.